Hello and welcome to the Gooner Talk, back in with you guys for another show, for another episode of our Tactical Breakdown series show in which we look at the players that are linked to Arsenal, what they might bring, look at them statistically, and then get some expert insight as well. So I hope you're really enjoying our content that we've been putting out over the last couple of months or so. Apologies that you've not had one for the last few days. If you watched us yesterday on our Raw Reaction show after Arsenal beat Olympiacos, you would be well in the know that I have not been in top form, shall we say, and I've been suffering a little bit of sinusitis, horrible pain at the moment, and I'm still struggling through it, but we're pushing through to get you this content, and I hope you really enjoy it. So let me know that you appreciate the work that's going into it by dropping a like on the video, and make sure you're subscribing if you're new, and turn those notifications on so you can join us for our live shows, and click the join button if you'd like to become a member and help support the channel and get access to exclusive content as well. Let's jump straight into things though. We're talking about Jonathan Tah. Jonathan Tah is someone that has been heavily requested to be spoken about. There was a period last summer where whenever me and Drew were on one of our podcasts, the comments were, what do you think about Tah? What do you think about Tah? How good is he? What is it about him that's so special? Every single podcast we did was asking about this German centre-back, and hopefully today's show is going to give you all the info that you could possibly desire about Jonathan Tah. But we always like to start off with our expert insight, and I've certainly got that for you today. I'm very, very happy to be joined by Jasmine. Bubba is the editor at Betfair and also a writer at The Offside Rule as well. So what is Jonathan Tah? What is he? Who is he? And how good is he? So take it away, Jasmine.
The latest defender Arsenal have been linked with is Jonathan Tah from Bayer Leverkusen, and I'm here to talk a little bit about his strengths and his weaknesses and how he could fit into this Arsenal team. For those who don't know about Jonathan Tah, he is a German defender for Bayer Leverkusen and also the German national team. He's had 9 appearances for the national team and 127 appearances for Bayer Leverkusen, who sit 5th in the Bundesliga and have conceded 29 goals. To put that into context, leaders Bayern München have conceded 24, so quite a good working defence at the moment that Tah is in. He's regarded one of the most talented German centre-backs. He's one of the most valuable too. So at the moment, the 24-year-old is just behind Niklas Süle of Bayern München and also Antonio Rudiger from Chelsea. And he's valued at around 33 million at the moment. So a little bit of his strengths. He's 6'5", very built. So as you can imagine, that works into his play quite well. Good physical presence, definitely efficient in the air, any kind of tall, powerful play in that kind of sense. But he also likes to go forward. A bit like David Luiz, he has a few assists to his name. He likes to play with the ball. So in that kind of attacking philosophy Arsenal have, would fit quite well. He's also quite a fast defender. But a few of his weaknesses, especially with such a young age and the way he likes to play, he can also be quite sluggish. He can get caught every now and then, and it's rare, but he can, if he takes on into space, he can get caught out quite often. But these are all things that you see from a 24-year-old who hasn't really honed their craft of defending. Most peak defenders are around 30 to 32 years old. So there's plenty of time for especially that sluggishness and indiscipline to be coached out. It's just making that move to somewhere that will coach you in that sort of way to iron out those mistakes, where he's kind of stagnated under Bayer Leverkusen, and there's only so much that a team like theirs can make you progress. So the challenge here is, if Arsenal and Arteta can coach that out of him. I mean, he'd fit well under Arteta's system. He is already more talented than half of Arsenal's defenders. But you've got like a case like Mustafi where Arteta's coached him well. I mean, that's not saying much. But we've never really seen that before. It's a new era of Arsenal. You're coaching a 24-year-old, the same age as Rob Holding. Who would you get rid of first of all in the Arsenal defence? That's maybe an easy question. But does Arsenal have the facilities to iron out errors? That is the big question. Now, Sport Bild have reported that both Arsenal and Atletico Madrid are interested in Jonathan Tah, and he's contracted to Leverkusen to 2023, but both teams are looking to trigger his buyout clause for around 40 million. So we'll see.
A huge thank you to Jasmine. You can check out her Twitter details in the link in the description below. But I mean, it sounds good, doesn't it? I mean, the way that Bayer Leverkusen are holding a strong backline and Tah is heavily involved in that is clearly something which supports the fact that he is definitely an impressive centre-back. But you've not just come for the expert insight. You've also clicked on this video to get the great statistics and our trusty heat map, which you can see on the screen now. So this is where I start to get a little bit problematic with Tah, because we are signing William Saliba, who is a right-footed centre-back, although has been playing a little bit more on the left-hand side this season. Maybe that's been spotted by the scouts and by Arteta to maybe think that we need to go for a right-footed centre-back. Obviously, we signed Pablo Mari on loan with a view to possibly signing him permanently in the summer, although we've not seen anything of him yet. But Jonathan Tah sits on that right-hand side, does like to push forward, but is heavily disciplined, as you can see from the big red blob that you can see in his own half, and that does display to us that he does like to be disciplined. But as Jasmine said, he can take the ball forwards, and that's why you can see that intensity in the opposition's half. Moving then on to defensive stats, this is where it gets a little bit more impressive. Defensive duels, 5 in each game, 69.1% success, nearly 70% of the duels he's getting involved with, he is winning them really strong. 6'5", as Jasmine said, and 4.1 aerial duels are being made with a 63.2% success rate. Again, very, very strong. Sliding tackles, 100% in the slide tackles. And he's making one every 5 games, yes, but he's winning it every single time. Really, really good to see that. 5.26 interceptions. A very common theme that we've seen across these videos is around 5 for centre-backs with their interceptions. So another strong showing there. 7.7 losses with a 46.7% of them being in his own half. That is fairly decent, to be fair. Usually we see more worrying statistics over 10 losses. So seeing it's only 7.7, that is strong. And 12.3 recoveries. We like to see a lot more recoveries than losses, and that's what you can see there with 20% being in the opposition half, which is a little bit higher as a percentage than you usually see for a centre-back. 0.43 shots are blocked, 2.82 clearances, over a foul in each game, and that has led to a little bit of ill discipline. 0.15 yellow cards in each game and 0.04 red cards as well, which is slightly concerning. Hopefully that discipline can be reined in just a bit. Moving on there to the passing stats. 76 passes being made in each game with a 91.4% accuracy. Very good, very strong. You'd expect to see passing stats that high. He does like to use a long pass as well. 5.92 being made in each game with a 50% accuracy. That is a really, really good statistic to have. If you're over 50-50, ever so slightly, yes. But if you're over 50-50 in terms of your long passing accuracy, I see that as fairly decent. But we have looked at other centre-backs that have seen an extremely impressive statistics up in the 60s and even the 70s. So he doesn't rate us quite highly as some of the centre-backs that we've looked at. But in terms of long passing there, that is very, very good. Through passes, 0.97, 40% accuracy. He's a centre-back. You don't typically expect to see through passes being made. Crosses, 0.19, 40% of those are being accurate, and crosses for a centre-back. Again, not something that you'd be associating too heavily. Same with assists, XA and second assists. And then passing to the final third, 8.93, 79.2% accuracy. Very, very decent. but maybe we'd like to see that higher into the 80s. Passes into the box, 0.97, typically not seeing that for a centre-back. And he receives the ball 58 times-ish in every single game. It's shown that they use him as an outlet, use him for that long pass. Maybe he can spot some of those passes to cut the lines and find those passing lanes. Forward passes to backward passes, very, very strong ratio there. 82% in terms of accuracy going forwards and 5.99 being made going backwards with a 97.4% accuracy. Very strong. Attacking stats. This isn't really what you've come for a centre-back, but we're going to go through it anyway. 0.27 shots are being made in each game, with a 14% of those being on target. In fact, he's only hit one on target, it seems, from the graphic that you've got there. And there was a shot that was taken from well outside the box, which was rather ambitious of him. And naturally it missed. So there you go. XG 0.02, shot assist 0.15. Crosses we've not really talked about because he's a centre-back. Dribbles, I was expecting this to be a little bit higher actually. 0.66 dribbles in each game with a 52% success rate. Offensive duels 1.9 with a 40% of those being won. That's fairly decent for a centre-back. Not many touch in the box or offsides or progressive runs, and not suffering many fouls either. So there you go. That gives you all the information that you could possibly want, I hope, regarding Jonathan Tah. Let me know if you've enjoyed it by dropping a like on the video. Let me know what you think of Jonathan Tah. Is he someone that you would like Arsenal to go for? If he is, let me know in the comment section below. You can follow us on Twitter at the Gooner Talk TV. You can follow Jasmine, who helped us out with the video, the link in the description as well. Please make sure you subscribe if you're new and turn those notifications on. I'm praying that by the next show, this voice, which is horrific, if you're a new listener, this is not what I sound like. I hope I sound awful in my own head, and you can go check out some of our older videos to find the dulcet tones are a lot softer than this. Oh, it's a horrible feeling that it sounds like talking right now. But yeah, we'll hopefully be fighting back stronger very, very soon. See you again, and as always, up the Arsenal.